Saturday, July 3. No, 2. Yeah, July 2. I'm gonna say July, August 2. Dancing Haleo. Today is Saturday, August 2. Okay. What you can see here are my papers. My peppers that I'm going to do some kind of overhaul today because they're growing big and I have to do something. So likely I have to remove this and I need to mm, remove some calamansi tree that are growing also here from seeds. It's a dilemma now. Okay. The limoncito tree here will be moved or transferred into this pot. These are growing limoncito tree from seed that I just spread out there in that large pot where I planted. So this will be the first transfer and the second transfer will be the permanent location. Hopefully these limoncito tree will survive. So first we're going to remove this. Actually right now I'm not feeling well. I don't know what happened to my throat. It's itchy and it smells blood. But I don't have any choice but to do this work because I have to. All the things. So we will use this sticks in here to help our peppers be guided. Okay, so that they can spread out well. Flowers are not turning into fruit yet. They rot before they can form that embryo. Seems like I have an ongoing headache and fever, but I cannot stop working. I don't have any choice. to do this work. Seems like I'm shaking. Understand, so. Okay. Now we let them spread like that so that they can focus more on this side instead of reclining together in the middle. The more we have open space, the more the other branches can grow up and we'll have a bigger pepper plant. So now, what I'm going to do is to remove this. To remove this lemon tree here. Any? So my chickens are here, guys. Ah, sini. Sini, Ray. Go. Ito. Ba ikaw? No. Okay. Shy. I just feed my chickens. Thank you, big brother Dario. Purple Panda, are you that? Are you that guy behind? Okay. So I have to do this because I only have weekends that I can be free and can do something here in the garden. And the past holidays, I was not able to like be active here in the garden, but I was just tiring around in bed. It cost me a lot of time that I was not able to like look after the garden. And now I start removing these, what I call barrier for to like prevent the chickens from scratching the soil inside the pot. I'm planting calamansi tree or limoncillo tree for the purpose of perhaps growing more. I have one. I've got two casualties already out of 8 that I layered now. 2 mortalities, only 6 remaining. Hopefully the remaining 6 will survive. Otherwise, regardless of the number of the surviving branches that I layered, it's fine. Maybe 2, 1, 3 at least. Those are layered, they can bear fruit right away. Unlike from these seeds that I am removing now, they have to spend like another 5, 6, 7 years of waiting. Though they can grow into a bigger tree, but the time of waiting for the fruits to come out will cost you a lot. And we didn't own this place, we're just renting. What? This was probably caused by the net that I'm putting. Yeah, the signs. It's upsetting. I should have removed it. I'll probably just put that one back here on top instead of putting that one down there. It's no good for the plant, so I guess I probably have to remove that one today. After removing, wow, okay. I think I need my chair, my stool. Ay, men, pakiabot nga lang sa ano ko, men. Pakiabot. Yan ba?
One?
Mm. Quite weak YouTube friends, but I have to do something here in the garden. This physical illness will not be the reason to stop me from doing. Yeah. So now, just remove some of those barriers. I'm still afraid somehow one of the chickens, out of curiosity, will step in here, hop in here, and start scratching. When someone started, and when one of the chickens started doing that, the rest will follow, and it will be a total chaos, and probably 100% damage of our plants. That's a drawback when you're raising chickens and at the same time you have garden around, because they don't care what you're planting. What they care is to scratch and scratch because they love it. Okay, so probably there's another process for this twigs here. So use this to mark the spot where the calamansi seeds are being placed on, and that is good. It's a good plan. I have my first batch of lemon cedar tree there that I planted on a seed tray. But then I am not available 7 days a week on my recent check on the seed tray. The snails and caterpillar, they already have eaten the young stalk and the young leaves of the lemon cedar tree. So I can do with that. I can And there are two or three surviving there, but not that much compared to the original number of seeds I planted. That was around, it was around 20 seeds. Like 80% were growing. I think there are two or three surviving last week. I'm not sure this week if they're still standing there. So it's a struggle. Like there are several factors you have to consider in the gardening. The time availability you have and the somehow it's hard. So I have to pick the young ones. That's the kind of thing I want to see with my chickens, right? Not hurting anyone, but eating together. Yeah, you should do that. Okay. And you guys who are watching now, thank you for joining with me in this live stream. Actually, my YouTube, it's not monetized. I was accused by Google AdSense that I have two accounts. Well, I will admit that. But the first Google AdSense account I had was back in 2000, early 2012. But that Google AdSense was not actually working successfully because there were like stages that I had to follow, and I did not complete the process. That means that Google AdSense is not functional, it's not active because the process is not done. The process was incomplete. And then, like 2021, I was encouraged by a friend in the church. I used to go to church like 3, 4 years ago. And I was told that he's going to help me get monetized my YouTube channel. And so I did. And I was able to, it was him who registered because I'm not quite sure the whole process of it. But then, like around 5 months that I'm earning 5 cents, 10 cents every live stream and the videos I uploaded. After 5 months, I was informed by the Google AdSense, we will post your monetization because we we found out that you have two Google AdSense active account. And you know what? Like the entire corners under the sun I've searched out, but I couldn't find my first Google AdSense account that they accused me to have. I couldn't find it. So every time I tried to reapply and reapply, the same story they respond to me. They responded to me like, you have to active Google AdSense account. What the fuck is that? The first was in an incomplete process. How can you consider that one that is active? And when I tried to find it and search it online in order for me to delete that one so that the Google AdSense that was registered by my friend who helped me to get monetized my YouTube channel, that I can let that one stay, and then the old one that has incomplete process will be deleted completely, but I couldn't find that first Google AdSense. The only Google AdSense I have that I can easily find online is the one that was registered by my friend to help my YouTube channel get monetized. And so it discouraged me for that reason. Then right now I am more into, I just imagine, I don't make money. Just 5 cents, 10 cents. Though I have other side income which is not filming, but I'm just like interested to document my activity here at the garden. Because when I get old, if I can get old, the fact that I have so much physical illnesses right now, just after my motorbike accident, so I'm not sure that I can survive and get old. I have something to look back what I had done before in the garden, like this date and year to all of this documentation. Then I can look back my young self in the past once I get old. So that's the main purpose here. And then, yeah, like when I get old, I want to see myself that I'm not really idling myself, but I'm trying to be productive, whatever the cost and whatever it takes. I'm physically probably unable to do this because I'm physically weak right now. And the itchiness of the throat of mine down straight. I don't know what would be the solution to this. Well, let's just keep going. Actually, my phone is easily got overheat. I have to cool it down with like an ice cooler or something like. And that's what I'm doing. I have two coolers in the fridge. I have to like put that one in the freezer for several hours so that it can last for several hours as well to help my phone to cool down. And then and the the battery is not full as well, so likely. Wow, see that one? The upper part of the lemon tree, it's just like around half an inch. But look how many inches long already the root that is going down beneath the soil. That's pretty long. And I have to find another. Oh, what happened to the chickens? They're not able to finish the rice that I feed on them. Oh, Froggy, you jump to another pot. Yes, I will use this. Wow. I think we have a good soil here. I don't know if this one is visible in the camera. Well, I'll use this to put and transfer our lemon tree seeds here. That's started. You might be asking why these lemon cedar tree like end up here in these pots. Yeah, at that time that I had these seeds in the kitchen, I didn't have time for them to like properly plant them. So I just throw them here and now just surviving. Then I take my chance to remove them and transfer them to another pot, hoping that these seeds here will survive then we'll have more lemon tree in the coming years. Because I'm planning to do grafting. I have my mother lemon tree, lemon cedar tree there that are fruiting. So once these seedlings starts growing with a substantial size of that stalk, where I can start cutting the top in, and then I'll connect some of the branches here from that grafted lemon cedar tree. And with that, we will have more lemon cedar tree, and it could be bigger than the market is because it's grafted. Okay. You know what? I am more at peace today. I just like to share this experience. I am more at peace today than the past years where I have to go to church every Saturday. Now that I'm doing my own thing here, you know who did? Just myself here, take care of my garden, and I'm sick of you. But at least I can enjoy my precious time here, not being bothered by anyone. Yan, tumutunog naman ulit. I can do my work here peacefully. This one has two plants. Wait, when it is separate, I cannot force it to separate. I let the nature do by itself in the most natural process, the most natural way of growing. Okay, so hoping that these peppers here will give us healthy fruits. We have mix like sunny days and rainy days, but overall we're still under rainy season. But in Thailand, you experience three types of weather in a day or in a week, regardless of the season in the year. Yeah, the abnormalities of the weather here that they're surrounded with. the neighboring countries that protected them from typhoon, earthquake, monsoon, and all these things, natural disasters. I mean, still right now, they're not exempted. Because as you can see, like in my previous vlog, in my previous live stream, most of my banana trees that are standing here inside the fence, inside this house that we're renting, they all stumbled down to the ground. And like half of them already, I've already chopped and make a garden enclosure, like not garden enclosure, but an enclosure for the hole that I'll be digging where I can plant my durian trees. So I'm planning to replace these banana trees here inside the house with durian trees. But I don't know if this is the right timing that I'm planting durian trees. We've been here in this house renting for more than 5 years, but this is my time that I decided to like start planting durian trees. I hope it's not too late yet, but probably it is because of the current noise and conflict between Turkmenistan, Cambodia, and then Thailand. And we're around 70 kilometers away from the border of Cambodia. Here, the location that I'm staying right now, and where my workplace is also located. Like another 8 kilometers going to the city. From here is the place where I am currently working as a teacher. So a lot of things to consider, but well, as long as I am still breathing, as long as I have the chance to do something here in the garden, whether I'll be able to like get benefit of those durian trees that I will be planting or not, fine. I'll take chances. If the, in the event that I will not be able to get benefit of those, then yeah, so be it. Good luck. But now that I don't want to like watch and listen to the news because after the truce in Malaysia, headed by the Prime Minister of Malaysia, like I don't know, if one of the countries violated or both of them, we don't know the real, the exact story right from the ground. We can only hear from the news channels and biases and false information cannot be denied that it's existing. So, yeah, fingers crossed, and we have to look for ourselves. We have to prioritize ourselves, and we can go into the safety ground whether this problem escalates. And we don't know when and where we're part of the civilians that somehow can be the possible victims of this conflict. And it's not easy if you're there. Though they only strengthen it for a few hours during the night. It's not threatening yet. But the most important thing is that you should be conscious and aware of the surroundings and the progress of the situation, because if you're too much blinded and probably delusional that it's okay, no problem, it can cost your life. There's sometimes when I'm really upset and disappointed that I'm asking him to end my life, but on the other side, life is still beautiful regardless of the struggles you might be facing. Those struggles, sufferings, and pain that you're experiencing, it will just add more colors to your existence. And that makes your existence colorful. So there's no dull moments if you have different type mix of experience in your life. Yeah, I'm still looking for the seeds that the embryo started popping out, because that's like the most delicious part for this type of snail. I don't know if this is visible in the camera. It's a small type of snail, and they are really like belong to the decomposers of our digest and decompose decomposing materials here in the garden. But they're aiming for the most delicious ones, the calamansi seeds that are not supposed to be decomposed, but I have to plant and grow them. But what they did is that they have eaten the embryo where the first part of the seed that comes out from the seed. That's what we call embryo, and then they love to eat it all, the whole thing. How can you grow successfully without that embryo thing? Because that's the main part of the root system where it spread out and grow beneath the ground and develop to a cluster root system. So without it, you can't grow your seed. It's very crucial to protect that embryo before these snails can get a hand of it and then start eating. And just imagine the other seed tray planted I mentioned to you lately, where the seeds were already growing and started producing leaves, but these types of snails were able to like suck on those seeds, and yeah, only two or three are surviving. So I think I have enough number of seeds. I don't want to be too much greedy, so I let the other seeds stay there. If they can grow, it's fine, and if they don't, then the snails will have them as their meal. Yeah, I still have two pots where I can see a few calamansi trees growing, and the plants are even bigger in size than the seeds that I have removed, and that I have removed from this pot where the embryo just started coming out, popping out. The rest, a few here and there, they're already. Shh, bike out! You're planning to get it. The garden enclosure. Damage to those plants inside. Such a brat. Chico. Okay, so after this, I'm going to add more um, like green leaves to add more nitrogen power here in the soil. So I'll do that after, yeah. I was thinking not to come outside to the gardening because physically I'm weak and tired. I have an ongoing headache and fever, as I mentioned here lately, but then I have no other choice but come here and then do what I can do here in the garden. And now we just remove the barrier, and this is vulnerable for the chickens' attack, where they can get in here, hop in here, and then scratch everywhere, even including the pepper plants. And it's too risky, so I think probably I'll put back these barriers, but not the entire ones that I just removed, but probably a few of that will be back here to cover the lid. But then have to put the sweet potato leaves as like source of natural nitrogen for the soil to provide more nitrogen for these peppers to continue growing big. And then I have fertilizer there, which is responsible for flowering and fruiting. And at the same time, I have nitrogen rich fertilizer there as well. So it would be a mix of two fertilizers that I already organically made here in the house using fermented process, like a mix of molasses and bananas, ripe bananas for potassium, then a mix of green leafy vegetable leaves, sweet potato leaves, aloe vera leaves, moringa leaves, and all those green leaves that are growing here that are vegetables that are rich in nitrogen. Then to extract this nitrogen, so we have to use the same liquid, which is molasses. Molasses itself has already different types of nutrients there. So like you ferment that one for 1 month, 30 days, 2 months, and then remove the pulp and the residue and that pure liquid. You mix it with water, like 1:10 is the ratio, like 10 ml of 1:100, I guess. Yeah. 10 ml of pure extracted liquid from that fermented bananas and molasses and vegetable leaves and molasses for 1 liter of water, and then you water regularly your plants. There's no overdose to that. It's organic. You just don't have to put them like in the leaves because sometimes it can cause like a little tiny burn to the leaves, but not that much. But it can. Sure, go away. And yeah, we're doing that. And then I have these two stubborn lane things. They have been here with us since February, April, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, they've been here for more than 3 months or almost 4 months, but I don't see them laying eggs yet. So probably tomorrow I have to fix the chicken coop as well at the back. That would be another live stream. There's so much to fix there. Like part of the wall is rotting because I was running out of plastic screen and that metal screen to cover the wall. And some part I just covered it with feature board. Now after 3 years of idling there, now it starts rotting. I have to replace it with another bunch of feature board. Shoot! Bye, don't go away. Shoot. You have a plan to like scratch on the go. Go. Ah, I know it. Oh. You go away. There's a lot of places you can go here inside the house. You can go at the back as well. But your target is to scratch on the part where I just placed on the calamansi seeds there. You're not even eating the rice. Crazy bastard. So I'm afraid the removal of the barriers here, like on the end of these spots, trigger the stubborn chickens to get curious and scratch here. So we have to prevent that from happening by applying meshes. There you go. I hope you're enjoying that. It's your friends right there in your home. And to my student, my Thai students, especially some of you are living or residing close to the borders. I hope you're okay and safe. Nobody wants to get hurt, but it's the greed and ego and selfish interest of our leaders that cost the lives of the civilians and the constituents. No one is winning in the war. Both are victims. Both are losing. You're losing lives. You're losing properties. You're losing assets. And both of you are spending precious time for nonsense stuff. War is nonsense. Only the businessmen who are manufacturing weapons, war equipments are blessed and get benefited from that activity. But the rest were just victims. Yeah. I think it's time for you to choose correctly and wisely a type of a leader that won't bring you down to the ground and to the grave, but a leader, a type of a leader that has an iron fist to discipline her countrymen, but uphold the value, the culture and traditions, and will provide protection not just for his countrymen, but even other person of interest. But what happened to our leaders now? They're taking advantage to each other. They're fighting to each other in the name of their self-interest, not not for the public interest of the whole country. And it saddens me to see that where these leaders can preach like ministers and pastors and can preach like a religious man in front of the public, that they are good people, but actually these people are living a double life. They are different in the public and they're totally worse in their private lives. That's why you people, you cannot voice out your sentiments. You cannot express your opinion. Um, but you have only one thing that you can do. It's either you abstain your right to vote or pick the right leader to run. Yeah, even my country, Philippines, now is suffering massively. We have an idiotic, stupid, dumb President BB Marcos. The father probably was somehow, there were goods with his father, but this son is not doing anything good in the country, but instead on the opposite, the worst of the worst he did for our country. But I can't imagine how this troll farm is hiring, who can swallow the truth and blatantly lie, social media, and praising BBM that he's a good leader. Fuck. When? He's a good leader? When? Tell me a minute or an hour or a day that he was a good leader of the country. He is good in creating diversionary tactics to cover his issues. Diversionary tactics, agendas to cover his failure, to cover his stupidity, to cover his foolishness. one of the diversionary tactic that he did, which was, I think, there was surrendering a former president to a foreign justice system. Duterte in his time, he was not doing any imprisonment of the former presidents. There were cases and problems that these presidents were facing, but he was so quiet because he knew that it does not go anywhere. You're running after your predecessors for what? You're just wasting time then. Why don't you think of other things to progress your country, to help your country develop, to improve the infrastructures? But BBM is, I don't know. Probably he has a brain, but it is mandated and dictated by the drugs he's taking for many decades already since he was a bachelor guy studying outside the country with lavish lifestyle because his dad was the former dictator in the country, was so rich and billionaire, spending all what his heart's desire. Now that he has given a chance because he was able to deceive like 98% of the voters in the Philippines. He did do it. In the beginning, it was somehow like trying to be neutral, but then after a year, I guess, or less than a year, his true color, he was guided by his cousin. So these are the realities of my country, though the problem in Thailand is not similar because the economy here is still growing good, though we can feel the prices of the goods that are increasing, but not that much compared to Philippines, and we still have employment, then we can still survive. I can still do the other side of income I'm doing right now. Well, I'm not in a good shape, but I'm still grinding hard to get into the green side of what I'm doing. And yeah, well, these are what we call struggle. Christian people, they would say, this is the sign of the end. That Jesus Christ is coming back not long from now. And it's been happening like this again and again for 500 years. Are you not that stupid to realize that bullshit? Yeah, I have good friends in the Christian community, but the level of delusion is beyond overboard. I was the same. I do think like that when I was like them before. But now that my eyes are open, then I begin to see a different direction. Well, I did not discredit about a designer, a creator of this universe, because I don't agree as well with the natural selection that Charles Darwin had written and was published in 1854, a year where the Seventh-day Adventist was also established. I don't agree the natural selection that we were from a molecule, an atom, bacteria, and then develop over. And then why stop that level in human beings? The evolution should continue, but we're not evolving into different form. So I don't agree with that natural selection as well. But at the same time, I don't agree on what the Bible is saying in the Bible. The God, the Jesus, the Creator, the designer, everything about God that is being taught in the Bible. I don't agree and I don't believe it, that it's real. There might be supernatural powers creating these galaxies, like in in a day or in a snap of the finger, but trying to pull down that entity into our own limitation of understanding and put that one in the Bible and let that one rescue us, it's a stupid move. You're just hallucinating. You're imagining something, a superhero, Superman, a Santa Claus that can come to you in the time of need to give you gifts, to give you a present, to rescue you, to save your life. That kind of understanding is delusional. And I consider the Bible writers are all lunatic writers. They have their own depression and suffering, and they suffered oppression during their time. And in order to pacify that suffering in their brain, they have to be creative to think someone that they can go to, someone that they can consider like a refuge, a shelter. And so they fabricated this type of image about God that anyone who is suffering can pray. And the only evidence of the existence of that is faith. See how lame is that? Even in the business world or in the education world, in the landscape of science, you cannot just make conclusion out of faith. You have to prove it physically. There should be enough empirical evidence to back it up. But just faith, and you have this God in the Bible that will come back and rescue you and save you, and will give you 1,000 years of vacation in heaven, and then the heaven will be like will descend down on earth, and then made of 100% gold and all precious stones, and then you live like angels. These are fantasies. But when I was a theology student before, I had already questioned that lingers in my mind, but I'm afraid to open up with that because who was I? I was just a student, and I'm the only one thinking like that when I was a student back then. And we have brilliant professors in the university and the college where I attended as a theologian. I graduated with one of the highest GPA with excellence. But for me right now, it's all crap. But I think on the other side, it's a good thing for me that I studied there. I studied well in Greek. I studied well in Hebrew language and Greek language. I read, I write Hebrew and Greek language. And I was the highest in grade among my batch in eschatology, in my thesis, in my research methodology, sanctuary, all those major subjects. I was the one who got the highest scores. It means that the direction and the reason and the truth that I have my eyes open right now, it's not a delusion, but it's the fact. Because other individuals like who are free thinkers, who are agnostics, Christians will like immediately cut them off by saying, "I didn't study theology. Who are you to say that? You're just negative to the loving God who saved you and who lets you exist in this world." They will do that kind of reasoning all the time, back and forth. I'd like to tell you this. If the God that you are representing is real, when Martin Luther claimed, like 477 years ago, he said, God will, Jesus will come back in my days. It's more than 400 years now. In my days. You keep you keep changing your time settings. changing your eschatology understanding, because when you're closer to that time, that somehow you're thinking, and that's why Adventist scholars right now are quite clever, where they remove the time setting at the coming of Jesus. Catholic Church as a whole, they stop claiming that Jesus will return. The last statement I've heard, I think there's no reason yet that Jesus will come back. But actually, if you study theology, they are anti-millennialists, like have the influence of Armenian theology, where they don't believe about the coming of Jesus Christ. But the Catholic members of the entire world need to hear some good things from them, and therefore they have to make stories to help this huge organization for in the entire world to stay afloat and let their parishioners continue donating and coming to church. And then other Christian groups as well, though they believe that Jesus will come, they also remove the time setting because it will fire back to them. Now, Adventists are quite safe. They follow history. Like history repeat itself. Like the exodus of the Israelites in Egypt going to the promised land will happen according to their prophet Ellen White, that it will be a similar event that is going to happen in the end of days, where the authorities of the world is going to look after and catch those who go against the order. And as far as I can see, I don't know if there is another Christian group who follow the Bible 100%, which is Adventists, the Sabbath days, the commandments, the doctrines. But regardless of all those stipulations that you are following and keeping, it does not erase the fact that you're delusional, that there's no one who is coming back to take you home. It's delusional, thinking that there is a sky daddy in heaven to pick you up, and the only evidence you can back up is your faith. Look at you. I know these guys, they're my friends, most of them. They're brilliant in other fields. They have PhD degrees, they're educated, but I don't know how they cannot balance their reasoning to think of that fact. That just imagine if we're speaking psychologically, like right now. Um, if you try to imagine, if you go to like any psychology experts, any psychologists, like it is the human tendency to find connection, to socialize, especially if you're alone, if you're bored, if you are suffering pain and struggle, if you're struggling, if you are oppressed. It is human tendency that they're going to find someone that they can lean on. And probably most of the time during the time where the lunatic writers of the Bible were writing the Bibles, like writing the books in the Bible, most of them have suffered oppression. Most of them have suffered like depression, and they struggle. And most of the time they're talking to themselves, like Elijah, like Moses, where he was exiled, and where like John the Revelator were exiled in the Isle of Patmos, Peter, Paul, and simply these guys, they have to find something, and they need to be creative to encourage themselves not to give up their mission. not to give up their goal, to spread out what they are holding about the Jesus, about the God. And so they have to make stories to encourage the readers in the future. I'm just assuming, but it is closer to the fact, right? I don't understand how delusional most of the Christians at the moment. Like, your only evidence of the existence of your God is faith. Yeah, I can feel it. It's in the heart. Yeah, because you're delusional. This world, these galaxies here, they can move on its own and continue moving and moving. Probably 100, 200, 1,000, 10,000 years from now, another population exists, another type of environment that will exist in the world, but the world will continue to move on its own. And that's why deist people, they believe that there is an existence of a designer, but after he designed his creation, he just let it grow and progress by itself. I do think these guys who are deists has a point closer to the fact. Because if you imagine what is happening in the world today, people who has the capabilities are the one in power, are the ones in control, and the rest are just gone and slaves. Christians are scrutinizing, criticizing the billionaires, where somehow they would say, they gave themselves to the devil. But actually, these billionaires are producing products like laptop, internet communication. And these Christians are using this for their advantage. That's hypocrisy at its best. You're criticizing those billionaires who are thinking for some good stuff to exist in the world. And you are criticizing it at the same time you're using and benefiting of it. It doesn't make sense. Just plain stupid. And yeah, we're actually doing gardening, but we end up this kind of motivational, real talk kind of thing. But I think my phone is running out of battery. I'm going to check that one. If how many percent left? Let's see that. Okay, it's 1 hour already. 11 minutes. So I'm about to finish this. Okay. I think the main purpose of removing uh, the Monstera seeds are here, but we're not done yet. I have viewers lately, but they suddenly pop out. They suddenly disappear once I get back on the camera to check on the percentage of my battery. What's going on, man? You're afraid of me. Like, why you're running away? But you are sneaking on my live stream. Well, thank you for coming. Your presence is really greatly appreciated here. But while you're running and disappearing right after, like, no, the moment I went back to the camera and checked the percentage of the battery, you don't have to run away. I'm not biting if you don't deserve my bite. And if you do, then the other next word that I can tell you is sorry. My apologies. I only bite adult, stupid people. Kids can be exempted no matter how stupid they are. They're still young. when they reach a certain age and they still act the same way, the same thing. There are no exemption for them because they let their stupidity and foolishness creep in their brain instead of letting their brain have something productive. But right now, I have no mercy for adults. They're nothing to me but a bunch of cockroach. Unless they are not stupid. Wow. This seed in particular separated mature. It's been on the ground for some time. So I understand that. It's not. So I will have the same title like next live stream of planted a seed, but I forgot to place a mark in that spot so that I can identify that that one is occupied already. The other one is growing close to the well, what? It's another seed actually. They both are growing close to one. Seems like two stalk in a seed because usually happen with seed trees. Actually, it's a separate seed. Okay. Now we almost entirely finished this one. I think I have growing managed to see where I think that one should be like directly planted on the ground. As you can see, the surroundings here are mostly occupied with bananas, and I'll be adding very interesting sign. After I can remove those bananas, they're not of use anymore as they can easily stumble down to the ground whenever this strong current of wind coming here from the field up there, airfield. And so I think it's enough, or it's time for me to change planting type of fruits here. And I'll go with durian trees where it can last for a few decades, and after 6 years, I'll be starting to enjoy the profits of the hard work. Though it's like quite a time to wait, but no other choice but to do that as long as I have the capability to do it as much as possible, as early as possible this year. We will be ending our contract that is binding us with the owner of this house until July 2026. But I'm thinking, I already discussed with my wife that we're going to extend another 7 weeks to at least see the fruits of the hard work like durian trees that I've planted. We have 4 plants already that are growing, though the other 2 are not really that big. But probably once I remove those banana trees, the surrounding of that plant, the durian plant, probably I'll see more growth as the sunshine can also penetrate more for several hours in the day to the durian plants. At the moment, the other 2 plants, they are like um, cars still got sunlight thing. As the shade of the banana trees are like barricading, blocking the spot. So, um, well, I'm not sure if the live stream's still going, but lately I checked there were 11% remaining. So I need to work fast here before sunshine can get into my spot. Like another 30 minutes, and this will be really hot in here. So, we have lots of mix, interesting stories, YouTube friends. Since before I'm quite a storyteller, but now the difference is that I'm more into facts. I'm not into fables, I'm not into by faith alone, but I am into more on evidence-based stories. You can't just believe something without proving, because and your only proof is faith. Look at you. The level of your stupidity is immeasurable. Let's see. Small. City plant. The problem with me right now, I cannot work fast because almost my entire body is aching. But I can work. So at least I can still be productive outside here in the garden, despite of the situation that I am. I think I need to find spectacles there that I can probably the little pots that I have planted with papaya seeds. Papaya seeds right now are not growing productively, so probably I can remove that one and I'll have lemon cedar tree there instead. I didn't have my breakfast yet, so after this live stream, I must go and have my breakfast. And then I might be able to come back here in the garden, like when it's about to get dark today. Otherwise, if the clouds are going to help me today and cover the sun for the whole day, no rain, but sunshine, like a gloomy day, then I can continue doing the part two of this live stream because I can manage the heat and humidity inside the garden without the presence of the sunlight. But if there is the presence of the sun, it's too much temperature. Now that I am physically healthy, then it's not a good idea to like be torched under the sun where there's just a meager work. Though I love gardening, but you have to like consider that we can take advantage of. Well, we're about to clean the whole 3 pots. Still have one remaining. We have smaller ones. We have two there, but not that much of work. So I think I'll start putting these leaves around. It's already hot in here. These leaves here can rot naturally, sold by the soil, from the soil to our better plants. You just have to make sure that you don't go near the bigger plants because here it carries fungus to molds to develop there once this leaves starts to rot and they connect right into the vegetable plants. Actually, I was planning to remove the leaves to make another batch of organic fertilizer. But the problem is that I don't have molasses at the moment. So probably I still have to wait another another week that I can that one not too much. Okay guys. We have 2 minutes remaining and thank you for watching. I'll be back later. Bye bye everyone. Thank you for coming.